my garden rebels, the holidays are officially upon us, which means that many of us are going to be following that crazy tradition of bringing a tree inside of the house. And I want to go over that little bit of tradition on how to make it much easier for you and to save Christmas spirit for when you really need it. All of those tips coming up. First up is measure your ceilings. I know that seems crazy, especially since you've lived in the house for so long. You know your own house, but Christmas spirit is relying on your memory, and it is a poor thing to rely on. So take time to actually measure. Is it 7.5? Is it 8? Is it 12? Knowing that can save a lot of Christmas spirit. And yes, I know even finding a measuring tape, a working measuring tape in the house can be difficult. There are other ways to measure the height of the ceiling, especially if you know how tall you are. You can take any old stick or broomstick and measure the ceiling that way. Also, by the way, take note of the area around the tree as well. Technically, yes, you can measure the width of the area, though remember, that's not as critical because trees can be moved around and fit into an area as well. Phew! Now that we've got that measurement, let's get right down into trees. Now, there are lots of different varieties of trees that you can use as a Christmas tree, and all of them work. There's pluses and minuses in all the different varieties. I'm going to just concentrate on noble fir because in the Pacific Northwest, that's by far the chosen tree. It holds its needles really well, has a nice fragrance in the house, and also has a little bit of a more natural appearance. But there is a difference in how noble firs are grown, and I want to show you that distinct difference. Now just take a look at this noble fir right here. Notice how full it is. The layers on it is almost indistinguishable. There's just not much room in between the layers, but it makes for a beautiful full tree. Now here is a noble fir, but completely different in that it has very distinct layers on it. It's the way it's been grown. It's not been sheared at all, and it leaves room between the layers to hang ornaments. Also on these natural nobles, they are very strong. The branches can hold heavy ornaments, especially if you have, say, glass ornaments, and they hold them nicely so they can be seen on every level. Now, one thing I've noticed is that Christmas is a holiday that's built heavily on tradition. Tradition! And so if you grew up with one of the first types of noble firs, this might bring back some wonderful memories. This is the way noble firs used to be grown. And a couple advantages of a natural noble, by the way, is that they use less lights and are easier to light. Another distinct advantage on these natural nobles is that they are a much lighter tree. If you have to bring your tree up several flights of stairs or down some stairs, then a natural noble might be a way to go because it's just a lot lighter. Now, jumping back to height, we took the time to measure our ceilings. Just remember that everybody measures their tree differently. If you shop for trees here at the garden corner, our tags will tell you exactly the height that the tree is. This tree is 7 foot tall, and it says natural Christmas tree, 7 feet tall. This cultured noble right here is exactly 8 feet tall, and the tag here says Christmas tree 8 feet tall. It makes it so much easier to shop for trees. Now let's talk about the stand, because I want to make sure that that tree is picture perfect straight up in the house. We use these stands. I have no idea what the name of this stand is, but we've used them for many, many years. This stand makes it super easy that your tree will be standing straight up for the entire season. Not leaning a little bit, but picture perfect straight. And you might have questions. Is there flocking available? Is there lighting available? Is there delivery available? And the answer to all of those questions is, of course, yes, we can do all of that just the way you like. And here's another thing too, to save some Christmas spirit, that during this busy time, if it gets too busy for you, yes, you may go to our online store. Toby has everything right, everything ready for you just to click and buy, and we can choose your tree, get it delivered the way you want. Save some Christmas spirit. So all of these tips we have learned through the years. One final tip is that near Christmas time, we don't want our tree losing its needles. So put in the water is this tree preservative. It is fine for your cats. My cat drinks the water right out of the water bowl, and she is still very much alive. It's really to soften that sap underneath the tree once we give it a fresh cut before we put that bowl of water in there, and also allows that tree to take up that water through the entire season. Guys, that's the tips and tricks for this week. Always live your passion. On to the holidays.